welcome back. So today I would like to talk about some Ayurvedic concepts. And the video might be a bit longer, but let's see. So we're going to talk about three. The first one I want to talk about is doshas, our doshas. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Okay, so there's three doshas. And then we're going to talk about the elements, the 5 elements, and what they have to do with the doshas, and then everything in general. And then also the rasas, or the 6 tastes, and how that all plays together with the doshas and the elements, or the bhutas. They're called Pancha Mahabhutas, the 5 great elements. So that's a little bit of Sanskrit for you. Okay, so let's start with Vata. So we've got Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Vata is a dosha, and it is comprised of the elements of air and ether. So it is, think of it as like blowing like the wind. It's kind of, the qualities are cold, light, dry, and yeah, moving, anything, yeah, any rough, yeah. So you can, so when we're talking about someone's prakriti, or their physical makeup, their constitution, if they are primarily Vata, then they kind of, their thoughts kind of blow like the wind. Their actions also kind of blow like the wind. They're from one activity to another, one thought to another. When, they kind of have quick friends, one friend to another, and they learn quickly and forget quickly. These are tendencies, and yeah, so also I'll just add in, everybody is all 3 doshas, but we have more of one or 2 than the others. So, okay, so that's Vata, air and ether. And then we've got Pitta. Pitta is fire and water. So Pittas are sharp intellect. They have the qualities of hot, kind of like a smooth oiliness, not like oil, yeah, like a smooth oiliness, not like oily, like not too oily. Anyway, that's kind of a subtlety or a nuance. What else is Pitta? Fluid, not so much moving, but more fluid, like the water element. They are, did I say sharp already? Sharp, penetrating. Typically they have a penetrating gaze. And yeah, think of redheads. Like fiery. Redheads are known to be a bit fiery in their temperament. So yeah. What else? With Pitta, lots of things. The sharp intellect. They're pretty much also middle of the road. So average height, average. They're easy to gain weight, easy to lose. Vatas are hard to gain weight, really easy to lose. They have a hard time keeping on weight. So let's go into Kapha. So Kapha is earth and water. And so Kaphas, you have that kind of that sedentariness. They're the kind of people who can sit on the couch all day and watch movies and be fine with that. They don't get antsy to get up. They're really good with routine. They have stamina. They can like continue on forever. They typically have like beautiful big teeth and nice like thick luscious hair. The qualities again are earth and water. So oily, soft, cold, kind of a heavy. What else? Yeah, that's basically Kapha. I'm sure there's more that I could add, but and they really have a pleasantness to them. A balanced Kapha person is very like mild mannered. They don't get angry really. They don't get like super anxious. They just kind of like they're kind of calm and chill. Um, Not quick to react. And it takes them a bit longer to grasp concepts, but then they like hold on to that forever. Like they remember forever. Okay, so those are the doshas. We'll just leave it at that. Did I already say? Yeah, and then kaphas, they find it hard to easy to gain weight, hard to lose. Okay, so there you've got the spectrum of doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So now let's talk. So we've talked about the elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So as they pertain to the doshas. So now let's talk about them in general. So, okay, in nature, these elements exist. We all know that. And they're easy to see. And in each object we come across, we can identify these elements. For example, I pick up a pepper. So the taste is hot, like a hot pepper. The taste is hot. Maybe the texture is smooth. The temperature is maybe cold to the touch. It's hard on the outside, juicy maybe, watery on the inside. So you can play this game with yourself and like just look at any like the window. The window, it's hard, like rigid, it's cold. If it were to break, it'd be sharp. So yeah, it's smooth to the touch. Yeah, it's heavy. So yeah, so we've got the elements in everything around us, including us. I already kind of touched on this in another video, but so we can find earth in our bones, air in our lungs, earth, and then water in the plasma in the blood of our body, our body, and fire is in our metabolism. It takes transformation. The metabolism transforms nutrients from a whole piece of food to into its various elements, nutritional elements, amino acids, all the things, vitamins, minerals, and then distributes that. So then we've got ether. So ether is kind of a more subtle element. It's more like the kind of the intelligence in the body. It's a little bit more subtle and a little bit more difficult to explain. So I'll just leave it there. And then we've got the 6 tastes. So the rasas. So you've got sweet, sour, salty, bitter, pungent, and astringent. So what does that mean? So sweet, sour, salty are pretty obvious. Pungent is hot, and then bitter is like bitter greens, and then astringent is something like lentils that kind of like sucks the moisture out of your mouth. And each of those have a relationship or are represented by their main elements as well. So, for example, sweet is earth and water. So it's heavy. And I kind of talked about this in another video as well. But So sweet sour is fire and water. Sour. Salty is fire and air. Okay, so let me backtrack. I think I said that um, sour is earth and water, but sour is earth and fire. Salty is water and fire. Bitter, the bitter flavor, taste, is air and ether. So light, kind of leaving you with nothing in your mouth. Um, and pungent is fire and air. And then astringent is air and ether. So I had to read those because I, for some reason, can never remember them. So like, what does that mean? How is that? How is that helpful? How am I supposed to use that information? So the way we can use this information is understanding how to balance our self. So for example, if I am a Pitta person, then I have a tendency, that means I have more fire and water already in my genetic makeup. So I have a tendency towards maybe getting short or kind of blowing up at people, irritability, um, what else? Maybe I have a tendency towards rashes on my skin, like flare-ups, maybe indigestion. Um, what else? Yeah, things that are fiery. Um, so if I am feeling a lot of that, then I can do things that have the opposite qualities or opposite elements. So instead of eating chili peppers or, I don't know, hot food, um, like even fermented food it's got a hotness element to it. I can instead favor cooling foods. Yeah, maybe the sweet taste, as well as astringent. So astringent is air and earth. So we wouldn't want any of the tastes necessarily that have fire in them. So no salt, avoid salty, sour, and pungent. Um, Bitter is also okay. So bitter, astringent, and sweet are favorable for Pitta. Of course, you can eat whatever you want, but these are the recommendations or kind of the guidelines to just be aware of. Um, so that is how you would kind of marry all of these concepts. So dosha, the rasas, the taste, and the elements. So let's do Vata. So say I'm, primarily Vata. It's hard for me to gain weight. I've just noticed I'm super stressed out all the time, and I'm losing weight and can't seem to focus on anything. Yeah. So what could I do to counter that? So, and you can also do activities, like for example, grounding activities counter the air and ether of Vata. So sit, meditate, do like slow yoga, not like Ashtanga or something that's like fast and like high energy. You can do something that like really grounds you behaviorally, and then for food wise, you can try eating like sweet potatoes, pumpkins. These things are sweet. they're growing, their roots or they're heavy, they're the way that they exist in nature. What else is Vata pacifying? Yeah, anything that has the opposite qualities of Vata. So we don't want anything that has a lot of air or ether in it. So you want sweet, um, salty, and pungent, I believe, are the ones that pacify Vata. And so pungent would be because Vata is cold usually. So air and ether, and then pungent. The elements are fire and air. Yeah, sorry, it's sweet, sour, salty. I had to look that up again. It's been a minute. So sweet, sour, salty balance Vata. So yeah, so Vata's air and ether. Sweet has the elements of earth and water. Sour has the elements of fire and earth. And then salty has the elements of fire and air. So these are opposite of air and ether for the most part. So that's Vata, and that's how to balance Vata. So let's talk about Kapha. Okay, so Kapha is earth and water, and hope I still have you all. So earth and water. So what are the opposite qualities, or what are the other qualities of other elements, other four elements? So you've got earth and water, and then you have fire, air, ether. Three elements. So fire, air, and ether. So we're looking for anything that has those. So how does that translate to rasa, or taste? So let's take a look. So for kapha, we want bitter, astringent, and pungent flavors or tastes. So yeah, again, so kapha has this kind of heaviness to it, this sweet kind of unctuousness. And so if I am maybe experiencing some kapha imbalances, maybe I'm lethargic, I just can't find any motivation to get up and do anything. Maybe I'm experiencing some depression. Yeah. So what can I do in my life to help counter that? So I can get up, I can get some movement. Kaphas are, you can do the Ashtanga, or, you can, go on a run. Anybody can go on a run, but it's less, it would actually work towards balancing kapha versus potentially throwing, for example, vata further out of balance. Yeah, you can take like steam baths, or like chill out in a jacuzzi, like or better yet, go into a sauna and just like sweat it out, which is not necessarily recommended for pitta, because pitta tends to have skin issues. So, you don't want to sweat a lot if you have a rash on your skin, for example. Or like eczema or psoriasis or something like that. And then foods that pacify kapha, which means that they balance. So you will go for bitter, astringent, and pungent. So fire, you've got the fire, you've got the air, you've got the ether. These things are light, they're hot, they kind of burn the water, that heavy water of Kapha, and then they add a lightness to this earth element. And so yes, so this is the main idea for what I wanted to talk about today. I could get into, foods and which foods have these qualities. I kind of did a little bit already. For example, bitter greens are bitter. um, Broccoli is would be good for kapha. It's astringent. And carrots are tridoshic, so they're pacifying for Vata and Pitta, but they're actually fine for Kapha as well, although they have kind of a sweet, naturally sweet flavor, so can tend to potentially um, further aggravate Kapha. And then there's all the herbs. Like, herbs are amazing. So you can add herbs and spices to your food to help counterbalance whatever you're eating. So, yeah, if you're kapha and you're eating a sweet potato, you can put tapatio on it, for example. But yeah, so that was just an example, but not necessarily recommended because, I mean, whatever. But typically we try to stick with like more natural um, spices and herbs, like cooking. For example, cooking the sweet potato with, I don't know, some cayenne pepper. Um, that's maybe more Ayurvedic. Um, yeah, so then pitta zucchini, things like zucchini are good for pitta, kind of a solid, kind of juicy veggie. Um, or something, yeah, even something Swedish. And so we're not talking sugar necessarily. I mean, sugar, okay, in small amounts, fine. But that's, we're talking naturally sweet fruits and veggies. Um, for Vata and Pitta. Anyway, I'm going to let it go for now. Um, Hopefully, this has been informative and interesting, and I didn't lose you too much. Please let me know if you have questions or if I can clarify something. I, of course, would love to continue the conversation. You can um, put anything in the comments, any questions or comments in the comments, and or reach out to me any other way, email. You can send me an Instagram message or Facebook. Um, I'm Care by Kelsey. You can go to my website, carebyKelsey.com, and I'm happy to meet you. So take care, be well, and stay curious.